So when someone asks you, Viola Davis, who are your people? Where do you come from? What do you say?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most embarrassing and unsettling ancestral discoveries celebrities made on the genealogy documentary series Finding Your Roots.
So I'm trying to figure this out here with what I know my family heritage is not adding up here.
Number 10, Laura Linney's felonious ancestors.
Want to guess what?
I want to know, what did
What
he
you
do?
did.
What did he do? What did he do?
You might be familiar with the British practice of sending convicts to Australia during the 18th and 19th centuries. But did you know that before Australia, the primary destination for British prisoners was actually America?
Transportation of convicts to the American colonies in the 18th century was a way for England to rid the country of criminals without killing them.
If this fact didn't come as a surprise to you, it definitely did for award-winning actress Laura Linney. When she appeared on the show in 2019, Linney discovered that her fifth great-grandfather, William Linney, had been convicted in England of receiving stolen goods and was transported to Virginia in 1768.
Well knowing them to have been stolen, the justice said, "Mr. Linney, you hear what the lad has said. Have you anything to say?" Linney said, "No, I own I had the goods."
Probably not the most flattering information to learn about one's ancestors, but Linney took it in stride with a hearty laugh.
That is the passenger list from the ship on which your ancestors sailed from 1768.
Holy mackerel. Felons transported from London to Virginia by the Neptune.
Number 9, Soledad O'Brien's ancestor falls on hard times. Laura Linney was not the only celebrity to uncover their ancestors' criminal background.
I didn't realize on the Whiteman side, which, by the way, nobody talks about, and now I know why, because they also ran things like scams.
In another episode, veteran broadcast journalist Soledad O'Brien was also hit with a mortifying revelation about her third great-grandmother, Lilias Whiteman. Host Henry Louis Gates Jr. presented O'Brien with a prisoner register from 19th century Scotland, revealing that a 41-year-old Whiteman had been arrested for robbery alongside a group of teenage boys.
And in receipt of said theft. So she was handling stolen goods.
It soon became clear that Whiteman might have been leading a gang of young thieves in Edinburgh, Scotland. This theory seemed to embarrass O'Brien initially, but when they dug deeper into the actual reason why Whiteman resorted to crime, her perspective changed.
So her husband died at age 39.
Yeah, the death of her husband, the breadwinner, was probably what pushed Lilias and William into the life of petty larceny.
That's really sad.
They were stealing to survive.
Number 8, not Julia Roberts. The name Julia Roberts is instantly recognizable to millions around the world. But what if we told you it's actually not her biological name?
Is my head on straight still? Am I facing you?
The Oscar-winning actress derived her surname from Willis Roberts, her supposed great-great-grandfather. However, genealogical research uncovered a discrepancy. Julia's great-grandfather, John, was born more than a decade after Willis passed away. This meant that the actress couldn't be biologically related to Willis Roberts.
We scoured Douglas County looking for any record that named John's father, and we found absolutely nothing.
Through DNA analysis, the show eventually traced her ancestry to a man named Henry MacDonald Mitchell Jr., a married man who lived only a few miles away from Willis's wife, Rhoda.
A few short miles, it would seem.
And get this. According to the same census, Henry's widowed mother, Elizabeth Mitchell, lived just 4 households from Rhoda.
Wow. Despite the biological inaccuracy, we still think Julia Roberts has a much better ring to it than Julia Mitchell. Number 7, Issa Rae's free ancestors.
If they were named, would they be free?
The Charbonnets were free.
How did they get away with that?
During the era of slavery, people who were enslaved were typically omitted from census records. However, during her appearance on Finding Your Roots in 2021, actress and producer Issa Rae discovered documents that identified her third great-grandfather, Dawson Charbonnet, by name. This was due to the fact that Charbonnet's mother, Milite, had been granted freedom by her owner, who also happened to be a black man.
So you just blew my mind even more. Mm-hmm. So they were owned by
Another
a
black person. Slavery was a very complicated institution.
Yes, it was.
Additionally, Ray learned that Charbonnet's father was a white man who had his own family, but engaged in a clandestine relationship with Milite. If this all felt like a convoluted television B-plot, then you're not alone. Even Ray shared the same sentiment.
This is so... It's like you just took me through a soap opera, like a slave soap opera. Whew, wow. That is some twisted family history.
Number 6, Gayle King's European ancestry.
I knew her father was white, that her mother was black, but we were not to talk about it, and she never wanted to talk about it.
Gayle King's family harbored a long-held secret concerning her maternal grandmother, Emma Brown. It was revealed that Brown was the product of a white father and a black mother, a fact seemingly concealed out of shame, at least according to King.
What was his ethnicity?
White man.
Just white man?
White man.
Not from Germany, England, Ireland?
No,
nothing.
white man.
White man, okay.
White man, and do not ask her about her father.
The genealogists at Finding Your Roots were able to trace King's ancestry back to Robert Elliott Copes, a white man from South Carolina and Emma Brown's grandfather. This discovery unveiled King's European ancestry, which comprises over 30% of her genetic makeup. However, when the results of this DNA analysis were revealed to her at the end of the episode, King didn't seem to be very pleased with them.
You are 1/3 white.
Take that back.
Number 5, Angela Davis descended from white settlers. You'd be shocked to learn what some of your ancestors were up to. That probably should be the tagline for Finding Your Roots. In 2023, the show delivered yet another jaw-dropping revelation, this time to political activist Angela Davis.
Any idea what you're looking at? That is a list of the passengers on the Mayflower.
No, I can't believe this. No, my ancestors did not come here on the Mayflower.
Throughout her lengthy career, Davis gained a fierce reputation for her unwavering advocacy for civil rights, as well as her relentless fight against structural racism. Hence, she was taken aback to learn that her ancestors were the complete opposite.
Oof. That's a little bit too much to deal with right now.
Davis was revealed to be a direct descendant of William Brewster, one of the 102 settlers who journeyed to the colonies on the Mayflower. Just goes to show that despite sharing bloodlines, people can still differ greatly from their ancestors.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, think that you may have descended from people who laid
Never.
the foundation
Never.
for this country?
Never. Never.
Number 4, George R.R. Martin's grandmother's affair. When George R.R. Martin appeared on Finding Your Roots in 2019, he uncovered a surprising family tale reminiscent of the sordid ones in his epic fantasy books.
Spent much of his childhood in the home of his beloved grandmother, Grace Martin. But George knew almost nothing about his grandfather, Grace's husband, Lewis Martin.
Martin had always believed that his Italian paternal grandfather, Lewis, had abandoned his grandmother, Grace, for a younger woman. However, that notion was shattered when the show's team revealed the results of Martin's DNA test.
What's missing from that chart?
The Italians.
The Italians. There's no Italian.
Okay, that's shocking.
Martin's DNA showed a quarter Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry, suggesting his true grandfather was Jewish. It was quickly surmised that it was Grace who likely cheated on Lewis, which eventually pushed him away.
I've often thought of writing a book about, that house. It was.
Yeah.
I haven't even told half the stories yet of some of the people who lived there at various points.
That book just got more complicated.
Oh, we fully expect the next book to be chaotic. Number 3, the identity of Viola Davis's great-grandfather. Oscar-winning actress Viola Davis came on Finding Your Roots expecting to learn more about her ancestry, but she probably wasn't ready for the messy familial secrets she would uncover.
Did your mom ever talk about this?
Never.
Isn't that interesting? That silence?
Silence is always interesting to me.
Davis learned that her grandfather, Henry Logan, had a mysterious lineage. In official documents, 2 different men had been listed as his father, Gayle Logan on his Social Security application and John Young on his obituary. Although Henry's mother, Corinne, was married to Gayle, historical records showed that after he came back from World War I, Gayle never returned to live with Corinne. Through DNA analysis and census data, researchers inferred that Corinne likely had an affair with her neighbour John Young, resulted in the birth of Davis's grandfather.
It's the mess of relationships and the mess of, love, sex. It's
lust.
truth.
Number 2, Catherine Hahn's ancestors moved from Germany to America. Our forefathers often relocated to different countries for various reasons: economic prospects, fleeing conflict, or in the case of Catherine Hahn's ancestor, eloping with their lover at the expense of family ties.
That is so complicated.
Well, one thing you should know that you don't have to worry about in the guilt chart.
No guilt, just like, what?
In 1853, Hahn's third great-grandfather, Wilhelm Lunenschloss, was living in Germany with his wife and 6 children. However, by 1860, Wilhelm had moved to Wisconsin, now married to a different woman named Eliza. The Finding Your Roots team dug deeper into this significant change.
On the right, you could see the name of the man who lived at Ehrenstrasse 48, just a few doors down. Could you read his surname?
Anton Ternus.
And whose surname was Ternus?
Hers.
Through a German city directory from 1854, they found that Eliza was the daughter of Wilhelm's neighbour. This suggests that Wilhelm met Eliza there in Germany, then abandoned his family to start a new one with her in America.
The fact that that had to happen for this to happen
You are the product of the scandal.
I know.
You are the end result.
Isn't that nuts?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Niecy Nash learns who her grandfather is. Hollywood actress Niecy Nash was in for a rude shock when she appeared on the 9th season of Finding Your Roots. Turns out that the man Nash had always believed to be her paternal grandfather actually wasn't.
I was in a state of shock. I think I said what now? What exactly does that mean? And then I realized what you were saying.
Naturally, this was an incredibly surprising revelation for the actress, who now faced the challenging task of breaking this news to her father. Researchers on the show used Nash's DNA, along with that of a second cousin, to uncover the identity of her biological grandfather, a man named Frank Jackson.
What's it like to see this?
So many things are going on in my mind right now. I'm like, I wonder if my father ever met him or if he ever knew him in his life.
So how did this discrepancy occur? Well, that's the complicated part. Jackson actually lived very close to Nash's grandmother in St. Louis, so it's believed the two had an affair, which ultimately produced Nash's father.
That's where Mr. Jackson
So
lived.
Mr. Jackson came round to the house a time or two while she was already married to Arthur.
Well, we don't know if he came to the house or she came to his house.
But they met on up.
What scandalous tales exist in your family? Why don't you spill some secrets in the comments section below?
I mean, what a thing to take to the grave.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.